Alright, everyone, it's that time of week again when I'm recording. We're still continuing with the Work Poems project, even though I'm getting a little tired of it. So we'll see what we can do here. We're starting off with work poem number 23. A body wrapped in a blanket, a human blanket, as I understand it, sir. Found on the highway, you say. Well, highway, more a simple road. The pill you found, sir? Don't call me sir, I don't like it. And don't use the term boss either, it's a slave term. I prefer the term chief. It appeals to my Indian heritage. Let us compare Henry Rollins' version of Led Zeppelin's Four Sticks with the original. In between passing cars, some animal dragged the carcass into the ditch. I don't like bands where one guy is the boss and nobody gets to write songs but him. Look at the Pixies and how they treated Kim Deal. You don't know the whole story. You don't know how her behavior affected everybody else. You want to believe that bands like the Beatles or Kiss are all good friends, but it's not true. Look at the Stones. They hate each other. Okay, now we have work poem 24. Oh dear. Hold on a second. Apparently this one was written on October the 1st, 2017. Metallic burps now on the purple plantation, the purple deformation of the non-tractorous response. Strips of tinsel harvested from the employment zone. What would a spacesuit for a cow look like? Logographic symbols to communicate with animals. A barber for the mechanical contrivance. I poked my finger with a sharply folded piece of paper. In the pain of Edie's subsequent demise, I had someone read to me McCartney's essay on heavy metal outre, and I finally understood realtor humor. This has been a poem. Let's see. The old man smells like a vacant viewpoint. I'll admit to aging at the steady pace of my resolve, having burned out my reservations about cheese, confusing pressures in my befuddlement zone, down with the down and the vegetable puree. Cross the bridge made of brownies, you fiend. Okay. Now we have work poem 25. The sensation of strings coming out of your gums, the feeling just after drinking your first cup of tea of the day. Why do you have your interior light on? An absurd conception developed into an object left in the woods. I don't write enough poetry. Everybody's staying home to watch the debate. The periphery of the stink zone. Death to Steve Inskeep. What is in the water? The anti-pot comments of a lot of artists amaze me, just like it amazes me that an artist, especially a rock musician, could be a Republican. Never trust a cop. Never trust a band with more than 5 members. Fear of death keeps us alert. The children need to learn terror, but it comes naturally. Tom Servo screaming, "Jed, I ain't Jed." The old get out of the truck gag, so cruel. Alright, this is work poem 26. I'm looking forward to smoking pot again. I hope I'm not frustrated. Don't get antsy. The old Honda weighs on my mind. Black thoughts nag at me, cutting into my attempts at a good mood. I'm looking forward to the next album or band that will possess me, that will really connect with me. That's where the witch lives. You need to leave that poor woman alone. You've traumatized her enough. Slacker was full of people with interesting things to say. I have no one to talk to because no one understands my words. I'm surrounded by very stupid people. So, you finally saw Slacker? Yeah, and you know, Dazed and Confused didn't do that much for me. I felt like it was pushing emotionally and nostalgically manipulative buttons. She's either a simpleton or a member of some fringe Christian group. Not enough saucer cults anymore. That's not the way you're supposed to Hog Lagoon. That's not the way you're supposed to hog Lagoon, okay? Alright, this is work poem 27. Is it because of my recent exploration of Dada that I feel so good lately? As jarring as the transition between 65 and 66 miles per hour, Sitar Rudra Veena, how long will the third cup of tea continue to work? Panic is the strongest emotion, but it can't last very long. Talk until you say something worth writing down. One ultimate symbol of our imperfect perception is a single thread of the mesh bisecting a supposedly single frame. STP, Let There Be Rock. JLP, Mike McGear, Nirvana. A pretty big wheel down at the cracker factory. My Noble Death. Is theobromine in the natural drug guide? Sadness comes over me whenever I think of the disused car. The art issue, the heart tissue, the death of the brain is driven from my mind. This is work poem 28. I take no pride in my job. Bands/concepts of this new era. Crust, Zoog's Rift, Cherubs, Ed Hall, Dada, Factrix, Slacker, if I had a hi-fi. I wish I could get into Sonic Youth more. I need to read the Dadaist text in the original German. More comics, more zines. Parted my hair on the opposite side to disguise asymmetrically receding hairline. Old study guide to the Book of John. Lance Ash, Space Limited Accomplishments, The Procurement Universe, Low Proc, Redundant Oatmeal, Pseudo Dada. Sean Connery, Endures Disco, Hell Without Recourse to the Special Hat. Impatience Will Kill You. SLA, Slow Proc, Procurement, Lance Ash, Toadskabode, Noise, Nonsense. My lottery winnings will ensure that someone is always there to wave at me from the hotel. Work poem 29. Patrician Snot and his experimental band. His yawn spasm weakened him. The achievement of the highly unlikely. The diarrhea dance. I'll try not to get killed on your birthday. Further refinement of the procedure. Tomato seeds in the nose. Vacuum arts. The pasture is. Okay, work poem 30. My coat's inside out, no sympathy for soldiers. Tony Amendola seen in a public restroom in Key West. Ceremony of desecration. She wants a taste of my incompetence. It's the glue. Tear down the cross. Satan is a god. The indecisive redneck. Whatever happened to Corey and Bo? I wonder where they are now. I expected to hear crickets. Film about two competing film crews, each making a remake of the same classic film. One is a faithful remake and the other a PC, hip, woman-friendly version. Okay, now we want our problem 31. Oh dear, what do we got here? I'm living the biography. Ruined a radial prize fight mattress. Agree now, figure it out later. Tiffany's breath. Sun freely long suffering and launching the expectation red paint deviled ham. Minor flavors. Golfer silhouette on a random blob of color. Punish inanimate objects for their obstinance. Barrels. Name for car. Picture. 3 people posing next to a selection of flooring options. Drains you of fire. Determination. Jed and Jen. Gentle pressure. Alright, let's see what else we got here. This will be work poem 32. Okay. I don't know if that's the Bob meeting or the Rob meeting. Unfinished business can weigh on your mind. Painful regrets. My techniques can push these aside and allow you to maintain peace of mind. Halfway through the Keebler Elves. To tabulate and freshen illustrated supplements to the Asian Bible. Double reverse-headed sheep. I took my eyes off the road. Got to get some gas today. Not going fast enough for somebody. Primitive man developed smiling as a means to keep from vomiting. A bone in your hands. Cheese. Monster robots. Giant coffin. All right. Work poem 33. I need to open this bigger, see if it'll open big. There we go. They tell me you have a habit of, problem with, staining your underwear. Holiday cemetery. The blue hand is on the prowl, bloated beyond recognition. Relinquish the dried embryos. Hollow soap. Blue water searched just under canine. My birthday observed in silence and agitation. Nothing to look forward to. Residue the overlooked. Cash was the equivalent. One of these dwellings. What was Tonto's horse's name? The least familiar. The most unfamiliar. What's the substantive difference? A change reflecting another change in reality, a response, subjective response. One individuated consciousness to another's weird positions and movements can incite the imagination and refresh the consciousness. The unconsciousness. Pretending is good. Half the people are explaining the rules at any given time of a game. A crawling tanker within the confines of the pejorative relay, renting the fishery from Rockerman Griggs. The Mayan symbol for telephone ringing off the cradle. Antlered manatees of the flatware cutie. No standing arrangements. I do what some inner impulse tells me to. The woman who provides me with pot is seen as a kind of mother figure, nurturing me from her bounty. Allows me to see the vacating compound. Captain Tease. The birth of involuntary imitation by energy reflection. What I need is a band with an agenda. My band will promulgate loath procurement. Okay, we want work poem 34 now. And of course I have to blow it up again. Pizza Mall Hell, a quiet place only serving at most 10 or 11 people at a time. Zappa said that music was the best. I think the reason he saw it that way was because music unfolds necessarily over time. It takes time to experience it. It is therefore an expression of life's movement sequentially. Asked Stephanie, do you think while you're smoking pot that pot is making you wiser? Master of the whole of the earth at the relatively young age of 76. For the first time in many years, I feel the lure of delusion. I feel the lure of delusion. That's delusion. Order irrationally imposed on the people. Quitters. Band name. Do you get it? When should I roll up the hose? Vents along the lower side of the crigium make hooks. She should know what I mean. Esoteric order, perhaps. I like working within that constraint because it reminds us of the big constraint in order to deal with these realities. He talked to himself, using his glasses as a symbol of some fantastic mechanism by way of which he could be at least two people, thus justifying the internal relay of communication. Many of the suppositional relays are corrupted by rage. Skull placard equals carbonated plectrum. The giraffe's neck fits like a key into the crigium's anal vault. Freemason. This joke has possibly already been made. Man of cloves and his adventures in Corrugated 42, the almighty memory hub. Okay. Let's go to poem 35 now. I shouldn't have to open this twice to get it to blow up. Alright, this will be the last one. The closeness of similar genetic patterns. Good song title, The Smell of My Man's Urine. I foresee a time when certain regions of the planet will have a monopoly on certain types of weather or climate. Legally and distinctly. You must break through the colostrum. His relief will be palpable. Yeah, barrels. Enough square miles indicated on the barrel to account for all my new weirdos. His voice wavered with every discount kiosk. Painted phallus rises from the barrel. 8 try the rattle infrastructure. 12 lengths the interdimensional beings went to obtain our precious water, squirted to them through the ethereal passage every time we become dehydrated due to drug use. All that psychic energy just squirts it through to them for their diabolical purposes, sung as if by a really good-looking Groucho Marx. Detail essential to the colonies on Scratchy Sphincter. I will implement the bath solids to your jeweled tiki eyes, the Department of Recorded Sound. That has our lively boat in its interest best. Oh, mythic cascade, your nostalgic nausea can make the right coat contraindicated as hat. Alright, everybody, actually, that was kind of fun. So we're going to continue this project until it's done. So, and then after that, I think I'll read my latest novel. All right, thank you everybody for listening. We'll see you later. Bye-bye.